As today is yet another miserable, soggy day all day, I thought it would make sense continue the never-ending job of clearing up my parts stores. However, I think it may make more sense to continue the never-starting job of fitting a new clutch to Barry. Project Nigel. Little Barry, the Poverty Spec 214. All he wants is a little clutch so he can go out playing with his friends again. So that's it. I've made up my mind. This is what I'm doing today. Crawling around on a damp floor, undoing bolts with cold fingers. First of all, I must just have a cup of tea and a ponder. It must be brilliant doing this kind of job in America. Somewhere nice and spacious and just warm and dry all the time. Being underneath the car that's dry with warm hands. Probably won't be great when you come face to face with a big snake. Just had to undo all this plastic moulding thing here so I can get to the starter motor. And what do I find? I find my phone's in the way of the torch. That's what I'm finding. That's better. So there's the back of the starter motor there, and there are three bolts holding it on. And then for some reason there's this bracket as well. That's definitely not going to fall off, isn't it? So it's got 3 bolts rather than 2, and a bracket as well. That's rover engineering for you. The next time a mechanic tells me that something's an easy job, I'm going to remind myself of something. That they have got better power tools. They'll have a lot more head clearance so they can jack the car up and have the bonnet open at the same time. Currently I can't even get under this thing properly to undo a couple of bolts on the starter motor. And I'm not sure I actually want to climb under there just at the moment. Oh, look at this. There's the starter motor off. Just had a little break from doing this so I could go and find myself a part for a friend of mine. There we go, a boot button for a Rover 25. Now, I need the key for this as well. And here is my pot of dead car keys. Look at that. That really is one hell of a swingers party. Right, okay. I'm on my way to Burnley right now to go and collect a clutch for the 214 there, so it can be fitted. I'm going to collect the clutch, but I won't be fitting it today because I still haven't got the gearbox out, and I'm going to have to take it into the garage and do it there. They said I can use a ramp. It's just not really going to work trying to do a gearbox in the floor like that. I know it's not impossible, but without lifting gear and the other things needed and the lack of headroom and the lack of space around me, etc., it's just becoming increasingly more awkward. And this is supposed to be an easy job as well, so it's going to be put off for a couple of days. But in the meantime, I really fancy a takeaway pizza now. You may think that I pop along to my little lockup every day to achieve nothing, to spend 3 weeks not succeeding in a job that would take a mechanic 2 hours, and you might be right by that, but at least I try. With most instructional videos, you find the information is lacking and the job looks far too easy. And then when you speak to a mechanic, they make the job sound like it's a doddle till you ask them to do it for you, and suddenly it's a bit more difficult than they normally admit to. With my videos, you can see just how awkward some of these jobs are for a man that doesn't have all the correct tools. I am better at walking around the yard than fixing cars. I am better at driving than fixing. I am better at talking about fixing cars than fixing cars. I'm better at shopping than fixing cars. I am a better musician than a mechanic. I am better at absolutely everything you can imagine. I'm better at leaving my lights on than fixing cars. I am better at leaving work, getting halfway back, and then having to come back to work to pick up something I forgot than fixing cars. I am better at selling cars than fixing cars. Now, what does all this tell you? Does it tell you that I am completely useless when it comes to cars? No, it doesn't. It just tells you that I am fabulous at absolutely everything else. And good night.